I gotta say, that was actually one of the best 1 hour NXT episodes I've seen since I don't know how long. Hello, all NXT fans, and welcome to another NXT review with me, Mike McRock, and I'm your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show. Right now, I'm going to deliver to you this week's review of WWE NXT, and I gotta say, I actually enjoyed the crap out of this show this week, and it's not just about the final segment, which I will get to later on. You can trust me on that. But the show did kick off with Tyler Breeze, and he was about to have a match with Adam Rose. However, when Adam Rose came out, he cuts a promo and says, I'm gonna poop on Tyler Breeze's party. He was acting really serious. There's no more Rose buzz. The crowd was booing him, and he actually looked not half bad in this segment. And then you have Bull Dempsey come out, and he cuts a promo and says that he's going to beat up Tyler Breeze and all this other stuff. And I thought Bull Dempsey, he was fine. He was passable in his promo cutting. Not great or anything, but that's a thing that he can always develop and learn to grow as an individual and as a performer. And then you have Adam Rose say that he's going to poop on Bull Dempsey's party. And then they exchange fists back and forth, and then later on Bull Dempsey exchanges punches back and forth with Tyler Breeze. Bull Dempsey gets one-upped on both on both Adam Rose and Tyler Breeze, and I thought Bull Dempsey in the segment actually looked pretty good. My only little issue with the segment is Adam Rose. I just felt like that when he came out, it was I wasn't really interested. I'm not buying the whole serious gimmick for some reason. He was more entertaining when he was with the Rosebuds on NXT, and it was more over with the fans, and he's not as over as the fans as he was back then. And I just feel like that he was just a little bit out of place, and I really didn't want Adam Rose in this segment. I just wanted, Tyler Breeze and Bull Dempsey come out and exchange words. At least what I like about it is that NXT is not using a match to get to another match next week. I like that they've done a promo segment here to get to Tyler Breeze versus Bull Dempsey that's going to take place next week on NXT. And we also got Ty Dillinger versus Danny Burch. And this was the basic enhancement match where Ty Dillinger goes over. And I gotta say that I feel like Ty Dillinger has really starting to get over with this gimmick, and the fans like the gimmick. I don't know if the fans like the gimmick or Ty Dillinger as a performer. Maybe it's a bit of both, but at least it's something for Ty Dillinger, and it's actually getting over with the crowd. One thing I would suggest for Ty Dillinger to do is maybe do some video packages of him maybe doing gymnastics or other sports, and you have, say, judges scoring him like a 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of thing, just to give him more of a variety and not just come out and do matches, but have some video packages and maybe some backstage segments that will help him get over even more as a performer. And then we get Apollo Crews versus Solomon Crow. And I gotta say, for the time given, the short time given they got out of this match, I feel like that both guys actually looked good coming out of it. I mean, this is the best that I've actually seen Apollo Crews in a match. I was actually impressed by him this week, more so than I was the past couple of weeks, because I never really saw anything special about him, but I could tell that there's something there with Apollo Crews. I feel like that he just needs to find his identity more, and I think if he continues down this path as a performer, I feel like he could be on the right track of something good, and maybe as a possible NXT champion, but to me, he has a long ways to go. I mean, he has the look, he's black, and he has a size about him, that looks a bit like of a Bobby Lashley-ish kind of thing, which is a benefit for him. I feel like that he needs to work on his microphone skills. Yeah, we got a backstage interview with him last week, but I would like to see him tuck on the stick a little bit more. And as for Solomon Crow playing the heel in this match, I kind of like it. And I think that a heel turn for Solomon Crow would actually benefit him, because I feel like there's just no direction with Solomon Crow. He's just not going anywhere right now, and a heel turn for Solomon Crow, like I said, would really benefit him and would actually give him a character, maybe become mean and nasty, and with his hacker gimmick that he's supposed to have, maybe use social media to his advantage and start hacking other NXT talent on the roster. That's something that they could use for Solomon Crow. And then we get into Kyle Edwards on the show, and really emphasizing on the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And I like that, that we touch base on round one matches that we never seen before, and we got to see some highlights out of it. We got the Hype Bros going over a team, and now we are learning that the Hype Bros are going to face Jason Jordan and Chad Gable in the second round match. My money is still on Jason Jordan and Chad Gable for the tournament. And you also have the Vaudevillains versus Dash and Dawson, which is going to be in the second round. That's going to take place in Texas. And it's interesting that the Vaudevillains are in this match. I thought that, that the champions will be excluded out of this tournament, because I wouldn't mind seeing the winner of this tournament being like the next number one contenders. And it's almost like they're setting up the Vaudevillains to take on whoever's going to face them in the final match. And if the team beats the Vaudevillains in a non-title match, maybe in the Dusty Rhodes Finals, then maybe their achievement will to be the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships. In a way that would sort of make sense, but there's also an announcement that next week the Vaudevillains will be facing Blake and Murphy in a rematch for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I still stand by that the Vaudevillains really don't need the NXT Championships, because they have a really good gimmick that goes over with the crowd. And the one thing that stands out about Blake and Murphy is that they do need the NXT Championships. So I would be okay if Blake and Murphy actually regain the Tag Team Championships. So I think something like that would probably be in order. Now, and speaking of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament Classic, up next we got Rhino and Baron Corbin taking on Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in the second round match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament Classic. And I gotta say, this was a good match. Both teams actually looked pretty good, and I will explain why I feel like both teams actually looked pretty good. I mean, to me, it made sense that Rhino and Baron Corbin won this match, because I just didn't feel like that Baron Corbin and Rhino didn't get much offense on the former ROH guys in this match. And with that being said, Rhino and Baron Corbin to me makes sense to win this match, just to show that dominance factor. And also Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano losing to me makes sense. Now I know what you're thinking. Usually when people debut, they gain win, and they don't lose in the entire way. To me, it's almost like NXT kind of broke the mold here and was aware of some of the issues that they do face on Raw. Is that when someone debuts, they always win a match, and they never learn how to lose a match. And to me, this is the best thing that NXT has ever done with new guys that are fresh on the scene on NXT. They win their first match, which was fine last week, and now they lose this match here, which to me makes sense, because if you want to know how to win, first you have to know how to lose. And I feel like with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, a loss for them will actually benefit them in a careers perspective to learn how to grow and develop in their careers, just to know how to lose before they know how to win. So that's my take on the whole match. And the match itself was actually pretty good. Like I said, it made sense for Baron Corbin and Rhino to win this match. And I'm actually starting to like this team. They're actually one of my favorites going in this Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament Classic. And now we get into what is the main event on NXT. And boy, the way this ended, no words can express. Now, before I get into the big announcement, you have Bayley come out. This show was actually built around Bayley's return, amongst other things like the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament Classic. But the final segment was about Bayley and her return as the NXT Women's Championship. And they've treated this extremely well. You have Bayley come out, and she goes up in the crowd. She's celebrating with the fans, and it was all fine and good. She brings out Izzy inside the ring and celebrates with her. Perfect moment. I would actually like to see her celebrate a lot more, just to get that feeling that Bayley is, the NXT Women's Champion. And to me, the way they've done this, they've done a really good job. And they give her an enhancement match, against Sarah Dobson, where Bayley goes over. And to me, they really didn't need to use this match at all, because what came after, I just forgot about the match itself. So to me, having the match was just kind of bittersweet, and just really wasn't really necessary for this segment to play out more effectively. But holy crap, it really didn't deprive me. It really, really didn't. Because what happened was that Sasha Banks comes out, and she cuts a promo, and she talks about how both Sasha Banks and Bayley stole the show at TakeOver Brooklyn, saying that they were the best match on the show, and they were the best match of the year. And I like how she flipped the promo, saying, I'm not here to make the greatest matches. I came here to make statements, and I have a point to prove, says Sasha Banks. And I really like the back and forth between the two of them, and I like that Sasha Banks really played on that announcement that was coming later on, and saying, I just don't want to beat you, Bayley, 2 or 3 times. I want to beat you over and over and over and over. And you know where this is leading to, right? So you have William Regal come out, and the fans were chanting all bunch of things. And he makes the announcement that in a couple of weeks on NXT TakeOver on October 7th, you can correct me on that date, I'm not 100% sure on, but the NXT Women's Championship will be on the line. It'll be Sasha Banks versus the new champion Bayley, not only main eventing a TakeOver special, which I love. I love that the divas, I should say women, are actually main eventing the TakeOver instead of semi-main eventing. To me, that tells me that they really don't have any plans for Finn Balor as the NXT Championship. But on this segment here, William Regal announces that this will be, wait for it, an 30-minute Iron Woman match. Holy shit. That's it. I'm sold. I'm freaking sold on a 30-minute Iron Woman match with Sasha Banks and Bayley. Holy mother crap, I'm losing it. I'm completely losing it. I'm out of my mind. I'm enjoying this segment, and I'm really fanboying the heck out of it. This was awesome. I'm sold. I really don't need to say any more. I am freaking sold. I am ready for a TakeOver. Can it come here any faster? Absolutely not. But I'm freaking sold. And I'm just fanboying the crap out of it, and I don't care. Dislike this video if you have to. I loved that segment. Not only did I love that segment on the show, I liked every single segment on this week's episode of NXT. I really did. And overall, to me, every segment on the show, like I said, had a positive vibe, more so than it did in a negative way, and the way the show came across felt really good. Certain people looked excellent, actually pretty good in their respective segments, and they got the point across in a very effective way, more so than they done in past NXT episodes. You've done a really good job here, NXT, with the way you structured this show, starting it off with a promo segment, couple of enhancement matches, a really good tag team match, and an actually decent match with Apollo Crews and Solomon Crow, and an excellent segment on your final segment main event slot. Need I say more? And if you saw this week's episode of NXT, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments right here in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below on this video to become an MRBer on this wrestling review show. And on a final note, get plenty of rest and always do your best.